Well, we are live, ladies and gentlemen. What is going on? We're the Honolulu Blues Show. As always, I'm your host, Adam Stark. We got Nick and Julius, and we are ready for a full 7-round mock draft. It's going to be a good one, boys and girls. Lions pick it from the 2 spot. We're doing a PFF mock draft simulator, so it's going to be all PFF's algorithm, etc. So likely Aiden Hutchinson first overall, even though Trevon Walker has moved into now the draft favorite. So real quick, before we get into this mock draft, boys, Julius, let me ask you first. Were you shocked to wake up to see that Trevon Walker was the new favorite to go first overall?
Not really, because the hype was building. I kind of saw this coming a mile away following the combine and the pro day. There's a high premium on athletic talent along the defensive line, and the way Trevon Walker, I think he early on when the season, around the time the playoffs ended, he was being mocked at like the end of the first round in a lot of mocks, and he steadily rose. So it might be a bit hyped. They can still easily take Hutchinson. I am excited for this draft because of how random it is.
I agree. Random it will be. I tweeted out earlier that Brad Holmes has done an excellent job of disguising this draft pick, because I have gone between probably like 4 or 5 different guys where I legit think, I could see that happening. And honestly, there's probably 6, 7, maybe even 8 guys that the Lions could take at 2. But Nick, we know you're a big Trevon Walker guy. So are you finally, getting happy about seeing your boy get some respect at number 1?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy. I do like Trevon Walker and had predicted that he was going to get, like, I at one point I tweeted, I said, don't be surprised if Trevon Walker starts to be looked at number 2. I never thought he was going to be like thought of and or lead the odds for number 1. Like, it's kind of mind blowing. I do not like Trevon Walker enough to be number 1. I want that to be relevantly clear. I still am on the Malik Willis train. I will not push for that during this mock draft. I promise, boys. But you guys know that's where I think we need to be, is on Malik Willis.
I'm right there with you, Nick. But sadly, our boy Malik has fallen quite a bit to like plus, I want to say plus like 900, 950 for the second overall pick. So
well, definitely not 2.
Yeah, I think that hype has kind of fallen out the door, fallen
I'm
flat.
still on the train. I'll ride that till the day. I'll die on this hill.
100%. But without further ado, Julius is running the mock draft. So if it's like a little bit off where I'm talking about something and the pages ago, that's why. But
yeah, we didn't even address to anyone who's watching. It's like, oh, these boys they're all over in a small little screen now that we're sharing in a big old screen. Mock draft episode, guys.
Yeah, and this year we're helping you guys out, because last two episodes, our mock drafters were a little tough, because we had one person run the draft and kind of communicating it to not just us, the podcasters, but you, the listeners, as well. So now you guys can see the draft board. You can follow it with us. You can make your comments. Let us know who you think we should draft. We love it all. Tweet at us. YouTube us. We love it. So,
before
Julius,
we jump into this, so I do want to ask Julius and then Adam, 3rd year doing a mock draft. We've done this for 3 years. We all kind of looked back at our last 2 years doing it. It's, how do you feel you've grown since our first live mock draft episode? Julius, lead us off, bro. How have you grown?
From just looking back, I mean, I was hammering for Okuda back in a couple years back. I mean, last year I pretty much got what I wanted. It was hard to mess that up, I guess, with Sewell falling in our lap, but I think I'm still pretty level. I've grown slightly. I'm not that cynical anymore. I thank Dan Campbell for that. Hopefully, we do a better job this year.
We were all pretty cynical in the Matt Patricia era. Adam, how have you grown since the days of yesteryear?
I mean, I'm a little more realistic with my picks, but I think that's more or less how much I've grown, because back then I was a of a homer-ish, guys that I want. Of course, our Jalen Hurts banter, even Justin Fields talk, which now I hate Fields because he's a Bear and an Ohio State guy, but big fan of running quarterbacks. So that's why I was on the Fields bandwagon for a bit. But yeah, I kind of, looking back at some of the stuff, I kind of had a bit of an eye for some stuff. I had JT over Swift, which honestly in the long run might be wrong because DeAndre Swift has been playing great. But as of right now, Jonathan Taylor's played pretty well. So other one, I had Antoine Winfield Jr., who's having a solid career and at the Bucs. So feeling pretty good about this next draft. Although last year was kind of weird because it was just we were all so confident we were going to take Micah Parsons, which honestly, if we did take Micah Parsons, it was still a win-win situation. We would have been right. Podcast would have been right. It would have been good. But we took Sewell, and we're happy with it. So
very happy.
I'm ready to rock and roll.
Rock and roll, boys. Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun.
All righty, let's get this 2002 NFL draft underway for our Detroit Lions as we enter the draft war room.
Malik
Willis. This one, Sauce Gardner. Because, okay, so listeners, the Jaguars for PFF, I guess they just love to mock Sauce Gardner to the Jags all the time. So before we were doing this, it was literally 50-50 Sauce Gardner or Aiden Hutchinson.
NFL draft is so crazy where if Sauce Gardner did go first overall, it really wouldn't even shock me. I'd be like, wow.
Jaguars. They'll probably take Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah, Aiden Hutchinson, yeah. Yep.
Well, and Aiden Hutchinson it is.
We are on the clock. Honestly, if you guys want, to take Aiden Hutchinson, because we do know Travon Walker is the favorite, the Vegas favorite right now. So since the Lions are picking like so early on and it really wouldn't impact, we could make a little flip-flop. So Nick, we'll start you off. If you really love Aiden Hutchinson, make your case for it. But if you're cool with the Jaguars taking him and you taking someone else at number 2, let's hear it.
I'm actually kind of falling off the Aiden Hutchinson train a little bit. I'm starting to read these.
Jeff did it to you, didn't he?
It's that. Well, these little measurables and these like low percentiles, the short arms, guys. Really, I was reading this thing about his short arms and how like there has never been, an edge rusher with like as short arms as he has that was like extremely disruptive. And I coupled that with Jeff. I'm a little nervous about him, but he's gone, so I'm okay with that. Let's say he does go 1. Trayvon Walker, Kayvon Thibodeaux, Malik Willis. I'm in the Malik Willis train. Keep me on that. But for the sense of the show, I actually will go Kayvon Thibodeaux, number 2, jumping back in to highest odds at number 2. May have been a smoke screen, the Dan Campbell not liking him per se. I do think that when it comes down to raw talent, highest ceiling, Malik Willis is 1 and Kayvon Thibodeaux is 2, even over Hayden Hutchinson, who I have as like the 3rd highest ceiling. And at this point, I'm not trying to draft for safe pick. I just want highest ceiling. That's why I like Malik Willis. That's why I like Kayvon Thibodeaux. I'm on Kayvon Thibodeaux.
You know what? I know there's a couple listeners out there that are like that. It's a couple of my friends because my one buddy just sent me a text after I sent out all the YouTube links and whatnot of our 7-round mock. And he goes, look, buddy, if you don't mock Kayvon Thibodeaux to the Lions, I'm reporting your channel to terrorists. So obviously a joke there. But yeah, Kayvon Thibodeaux, I don't know. I can't wrap my head around it. And he's a guy that I'm okay with being completely wrong, because if I am completely wrong, it's going to be totally awesome for, the Lions. So I don't mind it. But if I am right, I'm not going to like it. If the people who believe that he doesn't have that work ethic, he doesn't have, once he gets that, taste of money or, after he gets one solid season, he just kind of falls off. That's going to be tough. But like you said, Nick, when you're in a situation like this, you have to draft for best upside. And honestly, other than Malik Willis, I think Thibodeaux does it. And as much as I wouldn't like it, I wouldn't necessarily mind it. So, Julius, I know you haven't been the biggest on Kayvon. You've been on and off. So where are you standing at right now? Are you cool with him at number 2?
Classic Mike Moore.
No, my mic wasn't muted. My mic wasn't
It was a
muted.
heavy pause.
I froze.
3 years
froze at the
running,
question.
boys.
I froze at the question.
I saw Julius thinking, no mouth was moving.
Oh, no mouth moving? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I am not okay with Kayvon Thibodeaux at 2, and I am not going to join the train. I have examined Kayvon Thibodeaux' scouting report like 150 times. I know all his athletic measurables. I know his stats, what he did his freshman year, what he did his sophomore year, his injury history. And I also know of the stories that come out of Oregon as it pertains to his character and the way he presents himself and carries himself, which I don't have too much of a problem with. But there is a player from the University of Georgia staring me in my face the same way Panay Sewell was staring me in my face last year at pick 6, and that player is Trayvon Walker. And to me, Aiden Hutchinson off the board, I'm not okay with a quarterback. I'm not okay with Kayvon Thibodeaux. Best player available on my board is Trayvon Walker. And that's who I would want the Lions to pick if we don't offer a trade. By the way, speaking of trade, for the sake of hypotheticals, we do have 4 trade offers. The Falcons will offer us the pick 8, pick 43, which I would decline. The Ravens would offer us pick 14 and pick 45, pick 76, and next year's round 1 and 2024 round 1. Or no, I take that back. I would decline that. The Chiefs, they will give us. Oh, this is all. You know, this is not even hypotheticals. We're not trading nobody. I would draft Trayvon Walker.
Get these trades out of my face.
I'm just so tempted because I want the Lions to trade down. I'm sorry. I would draft Trayvon Walker in this scenario.
So at the number 2 pick, Aiden is now the heavy favorite at -200, and Trayvon Walker next up +350, Kayvon Thibodeaux +500. So literally in the span of like 2 days, Kayvon has went from top odds for number 2 to third best odds. So it's
what are we doing, boys?
And then I don't know.
It looks like you're the tiebreaker, Adam. That's what it feels like. It feels like it's Kayvon or Trayvon, and you're the guy that called a shot. Or are we at a stalemate?
Before we even let Adam decide that, I cannot wait to go back and look at this.
Well, this is okay. This is what happened 2 years ago, but it came between Terrence Marshall and I think Rondale Moore between us. And Nick, you got the Terrence Marshall pick, and me and Julius were gypped out of our Rondale Moore pick. So as much as
what has Rondale Moore done?
Oh man, let's do Thibodeaux. I want the upside. I'm sorry, Julius. I teased you. I knew what you're thinking, but
you have my heart on a string, Adam.
My goodness, I just want
the Detroit Lions select Kayvon Thibodeaux, edge out of Oregon.
All right, yeah, let's
get them lined up against Sewell every day in practice. Come on,
the Lions are back on the clock at pick 32.
Okay, so Daxton Hill's gone. George Pickens gone.
Nakobe Dean is gone.
Oh man, that stinks. Ugh.
George Karlaftis is gone. Jamison Williams is gone.
Pretty much the top. Wow, Trayvon Walker fell the 9th to the Seahawks. Oh,
Malik Willis not gone.
No way. Is he?
Malik Willis is on the board.
Boys, come on.
I mean, we don't have to draft him for the sense, but I'm just saying, you know who's not gone? Our old electric boy.
I think, yeah, we can take that with a little grain of salt where we'll look at some other guys, but
yeah, I'm all right with just not drafting Malik Willis, assuming that realistically he does not fall.
Agreed.
Even though like Bucky Brooks, oh my gosh, who's the Detroit fan in NFL? She does all the numbers. Cynthia Freeland. Couple people have mock drafts without quarterbacks, any quarterbacks going in the first round. So there is a possibility.
There's a possibility Malik Willis falls to.
Yeah, it's not that far fetched. It really, really isn't. And if he's there at 32, I'm jumping on the table for him, just so everyone's clear. Like I'm screaming. Woo! I don't know what I'll be doing, but it'll be late.
Well, if we get Malik Willis, well, honestly, we'll probably do some sort of like live episode or something if a crazy pick happens.
We'll
But
probably do something live anyway.
honestly, yeah, we definitely should
I'll
because
be a
we got
few
2
adult
picks in that
beverages in,
first
ready
round.
to talk.
So granted, it'll be hard because our picks are opposite ends, and we know how that draft goes. We think it's going to take 45 minutes when every team likes to take 15 minutes to make a draft pick instead of 10 somehow. But we got some solid names on the board. We got Sky Moore, pretty much the top wide receiver. Travis Jones, defensive lineman from Connecticut. Malik Willis, of course, but we just mentioned that. Jalen Petrie, Arnold, I can't even say his last name. Abikati, Sam Howell, Leo Chanel. Keep scrolling up, Julius. Nick Bonito, Drake Jackson. I will say, we
can go by positional need. We looking at a lot of receivers here. Sky Moore,
I agree. Treylon Burks. That's interesting. Christian Watson. So, Nick, what position you thinking we go wide receiver at 32? Because I know that's what you've been preaching. And Christian Watson is on the board, but there also is Sky Moore, Treylon Burks. So, hearing those 2 guys, are you still feeling high on Christian Watson, or are you going a complete different route?
No, out of the receivers that are left, I would be looking at Jahan Dotson out of Penn State. I love the kid. I think he's got some of the best hands in the NFL, or coming into the NFL, which is what I look for. Where Treylon Burks' hand size is ridiculously small. He's like this AJ Brown. I mean, I mocked him in our mock, like where me and Julius compared our mock drafts, but realistically, like right now, I'm actually more on the Jahan Dotson boat. So I like Jahan Dotson. And who else was out at the? Who did we say?
Sky Moore, Christian Watson.
I can only see these guys. Out of all these guys, I do like Jalen Petrie. Quay Walker's there. Realistically, this is not my. If the draft landed this way, I'd be pretty unhappy. I guess if I would probably look receiver, and I would look at Jahan Dotson.
Quay Walker's there. I know you like your Georgia.
I do like Quay Walker, but I wouldn't want him at 32. I'd rather get Dotson, who I know he's not like that tall receiver.
Those are the receivers
need, but what?
The receivers. Yeah,
you're right, Nick. This was a tough hand for 32. Julius, any of these guys standing out to you?
Travis Jones, but I don't know. We have a lot invested in a defensive line.
We're going to have to get more defensive.
Well, and honestly, we pretty much are getting two of these guys that we see on here.
Jaquan Brisker, I mean, we could still use safety help. I like him a lot.
I do like him.
Kenny
Double
Pickett,
up on Penn State, guys.
I mocked Kenny Pickett in our mock draft battle last week. I wouldn't mind that. Drake Jackson, you want to have a 2-edge draft? I doubt it. Quay Walker, very legitimate. Treylon Burks, very interested in. This is kind of tough.
It's very tough. A lot of hit or miss guys. It's really, really tough right now. There is no Kobe Dean. Dax Hill.
Kyler Gordon and Roger McCreary sitting right there at corner. I like Kyler Gordon a lot. I think he might even go in the first round. I mean, we got 32 and 34, boys, so we making 2.
Basically, yeah.
Throw out some names. I'm picking Jahan Dotson. Who are you guys picking?
Man,
at this stage, I would take Kenny Pickett.
Adam,
if Pickett was there, I probably would take. I think Pickett and Malik will probably be all right. If Desmond Ridder was there, what do you guys think about Ridder?
Desmond Ridder is there. I
he realistically could be there too, because he's a guy that has slowly trickled up into early second round, maybe late first round draft picks. So
I would pick Kenny Pickett. Who did you pick? You picked
Jahan Dotson. Jahan Dotson, wide receiver.
I would be cool with Jahan Dotson at 32.
All right, yeah. I like wide receiver
I'm
here.
Sure Kenny Pickett would be there at 34.
So I mean, realistically, I do think we should break it down to a receiver. It's basically Treylon Burks, Sky Moore, Jahan Dotson, Christian Watson, George Pickens. Those are the receivers. Who's your favorite receiver out of those? to me, recently it's John Dotson. But I would be all right with Treylon Burks there. Like he is good. You know, he is just fallen a little bit.
I agree. I think we take Jahan Dotson. You guys are pretty confident on him. Honestly, you know, Penn State guy. We've seen Penn State players in the past start to ball out quite a bit, and honestly, he was a beast against all the big games Penn State played in. He was the one that was like making plays and actually keeping Penn State in when I forget when their starting quarterback went out and they had just some terrible backup playing, and Jahan Dotson was just doing everything. So
he catches the ball with his hand.
Yes, yep. He knows how to pinpoint. Yeah.
He's and then his route running, it would be crazy. And he's not that tall receiver like Treylon Burks, like maybe that we need, but DJ Shark's very tall. We got that tall receiver. Let Amon-Ra and Jahan just run these slant little routes, perfect for Jared Goff. It's the perfect fit for him.
All right, Jahan Dotson at 32. It looks like Travis Jones was taken by the Jaguars at 33. We are back up on the board at 34. Boys, what are we feeling here? Pretty much still have the same draft board as we just did. For me, I kind of know who I want because I don't think he's going to fall far enough. And that's Quay Walker. I would just like to get, you know, one of them homegrown Georgia big old boys from them. And Quay Walker, if we can't get Nakobe Dean, I want Quay. And if it has to come at 34, then so be it. But that's who I think I would go with at 34. Julius?
I mean, Kenny Pickett still staring me in my face.
We're gonna be on like the third round, like Julius. Kenny Pickett's still there.
Looking at the board, if Malik Willis was still sitting there at 34, I would select him over Kenny Pickett, just based off upside. Even though I do have a good grade on Kenny Pickett, I think he's gonna be good. That's why I keep mocking him.
I mean, could you imagine if like we would so get, you know.
My pick is Kenny Pickett right here. My pick is Kenny Pickett right here.
If the first round truly ends with no quarterback selected, you guys got to imagine we get like tons of phone calls for round 2, right? You know, like the Jaguars have Lawrence, and I mean they could get phone calls too, but man, if Malik Willis, Kenny Pickett, Ritter, everyone's still there, I'm sure we would get calls. So honestly, if we do get a situation where there's a lot of quarterbacks there, we can get our guy. Would you rather, you know, Nick, would you rather get Malik Willis at 34, or would you rather take, you know, some sexy trade package? And if so, what would you need to pass up, you know, a quarterback at this, you know, draft spot?
There's no trade package I would take that means we would be missing out on Malik Willis. I would take him over any trade package because no one's going to be like, here's my first rounder next year for your second rounder this year. I just don't think that's going to happen. So we'd be getting like a second rounder and a third rounder, maybe another second rounder next year. And I'd just rather take Malik Willis. Kenny Pickett, I'll definitely entertain many ideas. However, I really don't think it's possible that these quarterbacks fall. Like Pittsburgh and New Orleans, Atlanta can trade back in. Like there are teams that need quarterback. But yeah, if this scenario somehow fell through, we'd be trading 32. Teams would be wanting to trade into 32 to get that 5th-year option for Malik Willis or Kenny Pickett. We would have phenomenal trading, and there I will start to entertain ideas. So at 32, if you want to offer me next year's first-round pick and this year's second-round pick, which hopefully is like Atlanta at like 39 or whatever it is, right? So you get 39 and you get next year's first-round pick for 32. I'll take that. I'll take 3 first-rounders next year and lose out on 7 or 8 players and take 2 right at the beginning of the second round. Would you guys do that? You know, is that consensus?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So back to 34. I'm on Quay Walker.
Oh yeah. And then Kenny Pickett.
Then Julius is Mr. Kenny Pickett. So Nick.
If I had to pick a guy right now, it would be Jaquan Brisker. So I'd double up on Penn State boys. So that's a stalemate, but I'll be the tiebreaker because that's how we've been doing it. So I won't put my own guy. But if I had on record, because now it's fun going back and listening to these, Jaquan Brisker for my 34th overall pick. Out of those two, I'm not going to go with Kenny Pickett. I will take Quay Walker. Get that linebacker help. I love Quay Walker. Daniel Jeremiah loves Quay Walker, and that's enough. You know what I mean? I've watched the film on him enough to see how talented he is. And Adam, you're right, dude. Get that homegrown Georgia boy, baby. Ooh, that's dirty. We need someone from that defense, and if you can't get Lewis Kine, give me him.
The quarterback.
For those of you watching live, you guys just saw my disgusted face. It was because the Jets just took Kenny Pickett with like the 38th pick or something.
The quarterbacks are gone in the third round.
They're done with Zach Wilson.
Yeah, I guess so, man. All right. We are back up on the clock. Third round, pick 66. PFF showing our needs at quarterback, not really linebacker, because I guess we literally just took one, so kind of take that out. But also quarterback, DB, and you guys know what we need. So, there's no quarterbacks I would want to take here.
No, we don't need to take a quarterback in this draft if we're not taking one of those top ones, right?
I think so. Yeah. If it's not, one of the top guys, then it's a 6th, 7th, dart throw, something crazy like that, or undrafted guy.
Right.
Nick, any of these guys stand out to you?
Yep. Right now, Kirby Joseph is one of my top guys, along with Nick Cross. I do think we need to attack safety still, just because we got Deshaun Elliott. Doesn't mean too much. I do think he's going to be impactful this year, but he's on a 1-year Band-Aid deal. Let's try to get another one up and coming. Of the safeties, I think Kirby Joseph and I think Nick Cross are some of my favorites. Of those two. Specifically, I'm going with Kirby Joseph. I think he literally has potential to be an early second rounder, a sneaky second rounder that not a lot of people are ready for, but their team's going to attack that safety position, maybe even drafted above Jaquan Brisker, or at least right next to. That's how good Kirby Joseph is. So he's my pick.
Kirby Joseph, I like to hear it. Julius, any thoughts? You like in secondary here? You want to beef up the D-line, go linebackers, flip it to offense? What are you feeling?
We all know Julius wants offense. We already did that.
I'm looking at Bailey Zappi for the reach right there out of Western Kentucky, but no, let me stop.
It's true, though.
Just lost us 4 followers
because it's true.
Down to 2 listeners.
Hey, listen, boys. What's on the board currently? Nick Frost, his safety, I think at 66 would be fairly great value, and I feel he has the potential to be a pretty good player. I like his tape. Luke Godoki from Central Michigan, even though he's a tackle and we don't need a tackle,
he can play everything.
He can play everything, and he's a very intriguing prospect. I think that he's going to end up a pretty good player. Brian Cook out of Cincinnati, Kirby Joseph out of Illinois, the dual safeties. Nick got me thinking safety.
I know. It feels like we need safety, right? But I guess honestly, at this point, you're just taking best player available in your mind.
You're right. You're right about that as well. And
Tariq Woolen, cornerback Tariq Woolen, he ran the fastest 40 this year. He could sneak up into like a late first round if a team falls in love with speed at cornerback.
Christian Harris is sitting on the board right now, and I think he would be a great pick, even though we got Quay Walker.
Fedarian Mathis there. That's the inside guy I brought up to Jeff when we were talking about he's the Alabama defense. We need to get more inside defensive line like we just do. Like I know we spent 2 picks on it last year, but we need more of it, especially if we're going to a 4-3 defense.
You don't think? I'm pretty confident that Brockers is going to slide over to defensive tackle, especially if we draft an edge. I can almost guarantee that Brockers will move back to DT and
there. I agree, and I wouldn't be drafting Fedarian Mathis to be a starter. But he's talented enough to be a starter, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's already been through a rotational type of defense in Alabama, where he would be able to, quickly adapt. In my opinion, maybe not right here at 66, maybe at 97.
I'm thinking though.
Did Julius give a guy that he wants to settle on?
I would draft Christian Harris out of Alabama at 66.
Oh, Christian Harris is there?
He's sitting right there. He has a 60 average draft position. He's
I
right.
did not see him there.
He's
Double
ranked
down
9.
on linebacker. I'm going with Christian Harris too.
I mean, this could possibly happen. I also am very interested in Fedarian Mathis right there. I was actually serious about Luke Goddard right there as well. But if Christian Harris falls to 66, I think he's perfect in that slot. That's my pick.
Yeah, linebacker from Alabama, any type of Alabama guy, we'll always take. Playing side by side Will Anderson as well, so he's got some good company around him. Yeah, Christian Harris, don't know a lot about him, but if you guys are high on him, then
Luke Goddard went with the next pick.
Yeah, Godecki's going to be a really good player, and Christian Harris, like he ran Alabama's defense, Adam. That's what you got to know about him. Like he is mentally built from Nick Saban. He is a smart.
That's all I need to know, baby.
Character. Yeah. So we would be getting 2 great linebackers, and God knows Lions fan report is not going to like it, or whoever that is, but because he hates every time that I put out anything that has 2 linebackers in it. But I love the 2 linebacker idea. Bolster that position. Get 2, and maybe one of them becomes Ray Lewis. You know what I mean? Like you never know. So
right.
I'm down.
I agree. And, third round capital isn't, crazy high. It's not like we spent our, 32 and 34 on linebackers. It was, 34 and 66 or whatever. So nothing too insane, but we're back on the clock at 97. Looking like a mixture of players we have here. We pretty much got everyone, from guys from running backs to tight ends to safeties.
James Cook out there, Dalvin Cook's brother.
Yep.
Channing Tindall, another linebacker, Georgia boy.
David Bell. He was a guy that. If Brad Holmes takes him, I'll
Wendell Robinson.
Wendell fast.
Ooh,
Darian Beavers. Should we go 3 linebackers?
We can't do that, boy.
Okay.
Let's not get greedy, go.
Okay.
Nick, I don't know what.
Man.
What are you looking at to target here? We got Kayvon Thibodeaux, Jahan Dotson, who's 30, Quay Walker, and Christian Harris.
We gotta go safety or corner. Like
Let's look at the safety.
Or offensive line.
Let's look at the safeties.
Let's look at the safeties.
The corners.
Because you can't you want to draft best available, but you have to get some.
1 second.
Yeah.
So.
Dang, wait, go back up to the top. Woo! Don't go down that far.
Oh,
there is not a lot of safeties or cornerbacks left, and that's what scares me a little bit.
There isn't. It does not have a lot of depth at these positions once we start to get into the mid rounds.
No, looking it all over. You got to go back.
Kobe Bryant, Cincinnati.
We got to go back. I do like Alontae Taylor. He's one of my favorites. But let's go back to everyone, because I'm not gonna just go reaching, right? Like you don't reach for someone just to fill a hole. So looking out here. Man. We are getting low on these guys.
Yeah.
Here's my pick when it comes to this. As much as I want to just say Channing Tindall, because I think he might be the best out there. I would say Jeremy Ruckert, Ohio State tight end. It's not the sexy pick, but we're gonna have to fill a backup tight end position in this draft. That just has to happen. And I don't want to wait too much longer. We already missed out on some of the top 3 with Dolchik and Trey McBride and Isaiah Likely. I think Jeremy Ruckert is right up there, so I'm going to go with Jeremy Ruckert with my pick. Not a sexy pick, but that's who I think we should have right now. In 3 years, we'll see how that turns out.
I agree. With, just us needing to surround Goff with as many weapons as possible, although we could add a wide receiver, add a running back, but that is too far down the depth chart. That makes sense. If we add a tight end, he has a chance to break out. If Hawk misses 2, 3, 4 games, that tight end's going to get some real opportunity. If Amon-Ra goes down, then a wide receiver we draft in the 4th round might still not get an opportunity. So I like the pick there, Nick. Julius, you feeling anyone sticking out to you?
Carson Strong, I think, has potential. I don't think he's a dead end. He's not like a backup. You're not going to draft a backup in round 3 or 4 if you get him. You might, but you might not. It makes me want to pull the trigger there, but I'm not the GM of Detroit Lions. I doubt they do that. So I'm cool with Jeremy Rucker. I agree with that. I agree with Nick on this one. I think that's a great spot for him at tight end, and he can come in right away and fill that vacant spot that is very important in the Lions offense. He'll be an instant upgrade over Brock Wright and whatever we have now.
I agree. Although I'm not big on Ohio State guys, but we do have Taylor Decker and
Jonah Jackson.
Jonah Jackson, yes. So honestly, maybe we have a little Ohio State chemistry going on in the Lions locker room, and if it helps the team, helps chemistry, I'm all for it. So I like the pick there. He's a guy that has at least some opportunity to make an immediate impact, as for some of the other guys we mentioned did not. So a minute to our next pick. We are up at pick 177.
That's a long gap.
Quite a few guys have went off the board. So, so our only 2 offensive positions have been Jahan Dotson and
Jeremy Rucker.
So let's draw a blank on him. So then we got wide receiver, tight end covered. We did take 2 linebackers, Quay Walker, Christian Harris, and then we also have our edge in Kayvon Thibodeaux. So pretty beefy on, the front 7. We think we're looking to, the secondary / maybe taking a dart throw at running back or even, late round quarterback, maybe. I don't know. 5th round, probably I would take quarterback here. I mentioned, I think 6th would be the earliest. Nick, any guys standing out to you? I see Hassan Haskins there. I wouldn't, 5th round, that would be an interesting pick. But at the 6th, I would like him. So if he's still there, I'll bring him up again. But Nick, any guys you like?
Keep scrolling down a little bit. And I think Yusuf Corker, safety out of Kentucky. I got to see him at the Senior Bowl. He's probably going to be my favorite guy that I'm seeing on the board right now. Other than that, Haskell Garrett, another Ohio State guy. But like the inside defense line, Sterling Weatherford, who we all know Julius is a big fan of. He brought him up in his mock draft last time. Who plays like a linebacker type safety position. If we hadn't already got Jeremy Rucker, Connor Haywood, I would be on my list here. Caleb Elby, as if you're talking about the quarterbacks. Out of all these guys, Sterling Weatherford or Yusuf Corker, and I would go with Yusuf Corker for his more mainstream safety play. But I'm thinking we need Jesse Luketa, but gosh, we already have a lot of linebackers. Smoke Monday, safety late. We probably should be able to get him late. We all know he's my favorite. Right now, I'm thinking Yusuf Corker, safety out of Kentucky.
I agree on safety. I think we have to take some in the draft. If it's we take a safety in the 2nd and then we take our linebackers late, I think we have to address it one way or another because we still have Tracy Walker. We brought him back. We made the solid sign to Sean Elliott, but as we all know, it's a 1-year signing, and like Jeff Riston mentioned, it's kind of just a Band-Aid, and he's a type of player that isn't necessarily guaranteed to play, your 14, 15, 16 type season. So we might honestly get an 8 to 12 season out of him. And if that's the case, then we really need to, get some safeties here to see what they can do. So I like that we're attacking secondary at some point during the draft. I think the first 5 rounds is necessarily. Anything after that is pretty much just dart throws. So Julius, secondary, you feeling or?
I am torn right now between 2 players.
The punter.
Hey, if we didn't have Jack Fox, I mean,
we're good. We're good at punter. If we draft a punter, I'm not going to watch the Lions this year. Right now, I'm torn between Hassan Haskins, who I believe can be a great running back in the NFL behind a great O-line that we're building right now. I think I even mentioned that in the last episode. Hassan Haskins and my man Sterling Weatherford, who I think is going to be drafted higher than where he is on this board. I think he's more of like round 3, round 4 at this point. I'll be glad to get him.
Adam's the tiebreaker.
I guess so.
Tell me, what are you feeling, Adam? And I'll let you know.
You know, I am feeling Sterling Weatherford just because Nick got the Kayvon Thibodeaux pick. But,
Hey, I'm all right with Sterling Weatherford. If we want to all jump on that
yeah,
train, that's okay.
that's kind of also where I was
Sterling
getting at.
Weatherford, safety out of Miami. I think he is a great pick here.
Yeah,
He kind of gives me, iffy Malfano vibes in which he's
That's great
could be
vibes to
something
have.
kind of, drafted a little later. Hopefully, if he stays healthy, because if he was healthy, he wasn't bad. He was decent.
4 picks later, we're at 181.
It's just also kind of one of the reasons, like the Iffy and the Jerry Jacobs and AJ Parkers, why I'm not trying to press getting a safety early if we can get 2 very good linebackers, because we can make mountains out of molehills with these cornerbacks and with these safeties. We can make we find these diamonds in the rough. Like it's compliments to Aaron Glenn and Aubrey Pleasant. Great coaching. These players who come from nothing or come from nowhere, excuse me, is what I mean to say, to emerge as some of our best secondaries. So I don't think we need to press on this. Getting Sterling Weatherford late is a great pick, in my opinion.
Agreed. Only a couple guys off the board, like you mentioned, Julius. We're right back up at top of round 6, pick 181. So our boy Hassan Haskins is still there. He's the guy I probably take. I think 181 is a solid pick for him. But there's also, other running backs out there like Brian Robinson Jr., Zaquandre White out of South Carolina, some solid offensive linemen. Let's bounce it back to you, Nick. Are you feeling Hassan Haskins? I know you're a Michigan State guy, but
I do like Hassan Haskins. I'd probably take Brian Robinson over him if I was putting like my name on anything. I would say Brian Robinson becomes a better professional than Hassan Haskins. But I do like the two of them. I do like Hassan Haskins. I would probably go with Haskell Garrett and keep going with just trying to get some more in the trenches, get a interior defense lineman, because I think we need that more than running back. Again, we found Craig Reynolds. We found Godwin, Ibukizeki. I can't remember. Thank you. I don't remember his name. I'm so sorry. But anyways, I think Brad Holmes builds from interior defensive line. We haven't got one. We haven't got a defensive line since our first round pick. So give me that. Keep bolstering the defense. I think we need that more than a 6-string running back, 4-string running back.
Yeah, it's a great point. But
you,
Nick, Julius is coming up, and we all know what he's about to say. So, Julius, what are you feeling here? I know you like Hassan Haskins, but if not Haskins, any other guys that pique your interest?
I mean, Haskins may very well be my Michigan fandom spilling out into the airwaves of the Honolulu Blues. I just think he's a Dan Campbell type of guy. I think he can be a great player. When I talk about great player, like this dude can break out on our offense. That's what I think Hassan Haskins could do. But I do get Brian Robinson. I do like him too. But running backs are a dime a dozen. I mean, that is a fact. So looking at the board, I see Joshua Williams out of UNC Pembroke. I have an early 4th round grade on him according to my big board. He's ranked 117th according to PFF. He can play guard. And he can play center. He can help with the depth that we need on a great O-line we're building. But I would take Hassan Haskins.
I like it, Julius.
Baited, brother, baited.
I can't even blame him, because he is the type of guy that seems like a Dan Campbell type player, in which each year at Michigan, when he came to Michigan, he was a linebacker that I don't even know if he was like a starting linebacker. He worked his way up the depth chart to earn his spot, showed he was the guy, then had 5 touchdown game against Ohio State and showed that, he could be maybe not your legit RB1, but if he wants to come in, be your RB2, 3 when a couple guys get injured or something, I think Haskins could definitely do it. He's a guy that takes orders and gets it done. So, hate to do it to you, Nick, but Hassan Haskins. Lucky for you, though. If we have another tiebreaker in these next 1 to 2 picks, You're getting Nick.
The possession arrows pointing towards me.
Possession arrows back to Nick.
I can't wait to see what really happens in a draft and compare these.
Remember that for next year. I'm gonna carry that over for next year.
So look like we have a little glitch here. It seems like we're stopped at pick 191 with. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. Back up. Pick 217, top of the 6th round. Julius, let's start with you first. I see you pulling up Joshua Williams. Not even sure if that was accident or if you just like the guy. So, Julius, tell us what's up about some of these guys on.
It was both an accident and I like the guy. So, I mean, he failed at 217. I doubt that happens based on what it looks like, but I'm gonna go down the board and see what else is on here. We're sitting at 217.
Always got to do your due diligence, you know.
Oh, you got to. We're the GMs. We are the GMs. Connor Hayward would be a great. What's the position that they use? It's not a fullback. It's not a tight end, but it's like a mix. They use our current fullback in that role.
Kabinda or whatever.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Connor Hayward could definitely be an upgrade at that very important position as far as pass blocking, run blocking. Even being involved, I could see why he would be drafted by the Lions. Marquise Bell, I like him out of Florida A&M late. Jerome Ford.
I do want to go on record saying
Haskins. I'm not even going to look at a running back.
I want to go on record by saying Jerome Ford will be a better professional than Hassan Haskins. In my
Smoke Monday.
Yeah, from a fantasy standpoint, I've seen a lot of fantasy analysts be very high on Jerome Ford. So, although I don't really know much about him,
he's an Alabama running back who dipped when he realized he was playing with like Najee Harris and Alvin Kamara and all these boys.
Oh, here we go.
Cincinnati, led Cincinnati to the playoffs against Alabama. Like he's good. He's good. Get Jerome Ford in your dynasty leagues, along with Brian Robinson
and Hassan Haskins.
Not Hassan Haskins.
Julius, I saw you just pulled up Nefi Sewell, brother of Panay Sewell. If we didn't go double linebacker, this would be the pick that I would feel the most, just because. Even if he is a bust, just that chemistry alone, we saw it with your core brothers. They played better. When you have your brother on your team, you just play better. You know, you just feel better. And we've seen it with tons of other, players in all sorts of sports. When brothers play together, like they just play better. I don't know what it is, but if we didn't take double linebacker early on, I would like Nefi Sewell. And speaking of the Sewells, I believe did Noah Sewell enter this draft, or is he next year's?
I'm not sure.
I believe he's next year.
Because I had them flip-flopped. I thought Noah Sewell was the next one up, and it's Nefi Sewell, which is the guy out of Utah. Noah Sewell is still on Oregon. So
if Nefi Sewell doesn't get drafted, he's my number one undrafted free agent target.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
You know what I mean? For
Absolutely, sure. Yeah. And he's got to be feeling good, thinking like, at least I got a home with my brother in Detroit if all goes wrong.
Does any of these quarterbacks pique your interest in the 6th round or 7th round or undrafted? Jack Cohen, perhaps.
They're all like on the same. They're all I could see
De'Aaron
one of these guys. Maybe popping just because you see, a little raw talent. De'Aaron King, we see that, mobile quarterbacks are this kind of new wave, and he seems to have that play style. It's just what can you get out of him? Brock Purdy, solid guy. Caleb Elby, out of Western, had Sky Moore not playing with, the toughest talent, so maybe he's been a little bit undiscovered, but Jack Cohen, I'm definitely off. Any Notre Dame quarterback that's not Joe Montana, I am out on. But back to, the overall draft board, I see my boy Brad Hawkins. And another Michigan man, I would not mind, especially safety. But Julius, Connor Hayward, I also like that pick too. I think he could fill that Jason Kabinda role perfectly. And when you get to round 6, 7, these are where, you don't necessarily address your top position need. You address kind of like the sneaky stuff that, hey, that could help out, maybe a couple times a game. So all in all, got a decent few guys to choose from. Nick, anyone popping out at you?
Smoke Monday. Let's get another safety. Let's add.
This is the last pick of the draft, boys.
Last pick of
it
year
seems
3
like
draft.
These are the players that we're picking between. Joshua Williams, inside offensive lineman.
Actually, Joshua Williams is probably my pick. That's actually
Hunter Hayward, the H-back from Michigan State. I remember Brad Hawkins, you mentioned, Adam, and Nefi Sewell, the brother of Panay Sewell. So, guys, what's the last pick of the Lions NFL mock draft?
I like that we went, took the 2 linebackers already, because now we can roll the
Smoke
dice
Monday
and let Nefi Sewell go by and hope that he becomes an undrafted free agent, because
every day.
You can't imagine, he wouldn't choose the Lions out of, everyone, go play with his brother, unless, Chiefs or someone like that gives him a call, Bucks or something like that. Then I could see it. But all in all,
Smoke Monday every day.
Yes. Smoke Monday. I honestly, Nick, you mentioned it earlier in past episodes.
Honestly, though, Josh Williams is a really good pick too. Like I know you probably don't know much about him, but he's a really good interior offensive lineman who can.
He's my pick as well. I'm going with Josh Williams at that value.
I'm going with Smoke Monday just because, but I do think the value of Josh Williams is out of this world. I'm gonna let Adam decide this to win it.
Well, Nick, possession arrow is facing you, so you're saying
don't go
Smoke
possession
Monday.
arrow. Go with your gut, brother. Your gut. We'll have this on record. We'll be listening to this next year.
Yeah, we will. That's a bad dude right there. Like, he could hit someone, I feel. Oh man. All right. I'm going Smoke Monday. Just because Julius did it, set done. And also I think our offensive line is pretty good. Ragnow missed the entire season. So it's gonna be
Connor Hayward was drafted.
It's hard to imagine he misses a lot of time again. We do have
Nefi Sewell went undrafted.
Oh, there we go.
Julia, screenshot this so we can put it on Twitter, man.
Yes, so here is the final draft. Kayvon Thibodeaux at number 2, Jahan Dotson at 32, Quay Walker at 34, Christian Harris at 66, Jeremy Ruckert at 97, Sterling Weatherford at 177, Hassan Haskins at 181, and I can't read the next one, but it was Smoke Monday at 197, something like 201.
I also can't read it. I don't know.
But Smoke Monday was the final pick of the draft. We'll have this up on the Honolulu Blues Twitter posted, ready to go. So give your comments on it. But, boys, this is our last official mock before Thursday.
PFF did not like it. We got a barely passing grade. Boy. They did not like Jahan Dotson. They can go calm down. Let's I can't wait to look back on this in a year.
They didn't like Jahan Dotson. They didn't really like Quay Walker. They did not like Christian Harris. They definitely didn't like Jeremy Ruckert.
Smoke Monday, though.
Sterling Weatherford and Hassan Haskins were horrible, and Smoke Monday was great.
Yeah, no A's. We didn't have a great
mock. Keep in mind,
but that's
we'll revisit. The boys at the Honolulu Blues, we put a lot of time into this. We all got our own boards. We talk about this daily on the side during the show. We love this. Our mock drafts, who knows? It could end up this way, it could end up a different way. Nobody knows. That's the fun.
We didn't want, unless your name is Julius, we didn't want Jeff Okuda. You know what I mean? We know what we're about. We know what we're talking about.
We had Malik Willis staring us in the face at 32 and 34, and we passed on him for Jahan Dotson and Quay Walker. Honolulu Blues.
Because God knows that he's not really going to be there at 32, so it's unrealistic. Let's try to get a realistic draft pick in here. However, Malik Willis, he's great. He's going to make some team so happy, and we're all going to be like, oh, we should have drafted him. And I'll be like, yeah.
What would we grade this draft, guys, just looking at it on our own? Oh,
I'd be so happy with this. Other than Hassan Haskins, I'm down with this whole draft.
I would be happy with this.
Yeah, I'm cool with it. I would say, as weird as it, it seemed, we kind of took the right guys at the right times. That makes sense.
Yep.
We drafted for value and
Yep.
we drafted for need at the same time. We tried to think logically, a la Brad Holmes. Kayvon Thibodeaux could end up a Hall of Famers just as much as Aiden Hutchinson can. Jahan Dotson could very well help us year one, a la Monra St. Brown. And then Quay Walker, Christian Harris, Sterling Weatherford, and Smoke Monday. Those are great defensive additions. Hassan Haskins is going to run for 1,000 his rookie season. I give this a B+.
A couple of years ago, I went on record saying Clyde Edwards-Helaire would be drafted by the Chiefs in the first round. This year, I'm going to go on record saying Jahan Dotson will be drafted by the Green Bay Packers in the first round. I don't know which pick, but it'll be one of their picks, and we're going to be super upset watching Jahan Dotson for the next 10 years, and we're going to look back at this and be like, if only he would have fell to 32. That's what I'm putting my one stake of claim on. It was Clyde Edwards-Helaire to the Chiefs a couple years ago. This year, it's Jahan Dotson to the Packers.
Word.
I like it.
That was fun, boys.
That was fun. Third year.
And then also, for all those Kayvon haters out there, one thing that does have me feeling good about him is he's an Oregon boy that Penei Sewell wants and, played with. So if you don't think that Kayvon and Penei Sewell going head-to-head each week, each day, and practice isn't going to help each other, boy, you're wrong. Iron sharpens iron, and hopefully, we know Penei is he's that workhorse dude. So hopefully that rubs off, and we just have none of this, lack of effort thoughts for Kayvon.
Yeah, I don't
Most
think
important draft of our lives.
Yeah,
I agree. Yeah, this is a big one too.
This is the year, though, for real.
This is our year. Oh man, what was
this draft will make or break Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell. I feel like this is a very important draft. They have to hit on it at least with the same impact they hit last year's. The way they hit on Penei and Amon-Ra, they have to kind of get a couple more this year. They cannot just bust on this draft. They cannot do it.
I'm looking for 2 Pro Bowlers and 5 total starters for the next 5 to 7 years.
Agreed. And that's a big ask from Brad Holmes, but that's what we're asking. And
is,
I believe in him.
With 3 in the top 34 and Brad Holmes, I think that's doable.
There's no way there would not be any trades in this draft. If Brad Holmes keeps every pick the way it's set from 2 to 217, I'll be highly surprised. Honestly, I think it's going to be a lot of trade movement, maybe even right away. So
I think so.
We got to wait and see.
Especially with, some of these players that are trying to get out of their teams with Baker Mayfield, Deebo Samuel. Not necessarily, we've seen some reports where Baker Mayfield might not get traded, but Deebo Samuel, he's been adamant to get out. And who knows if we, see the Chiefs offer, or not the Chiefs, but someone offer 2 first-rounders, a first, second, something like that. But I'm pretty confident. I'm right there with you, Julius. I think we're going to see a couple day one draft trades.
Yeah, I agree. Thursday, guys. Oh, I can't wait.
It's snuck up on.
Next week's episode, next Monday, is going to be the craziest episode
it's gonna be great.
We've ever had.
It's going to be great.
I cannot wait.
Fresh off. It's going to be good. You'll want to tune in next Monday, boys and girls. It's going to be a good one. As always, we're the Honolulu Blues podcast. Check us out on Twitter at Honolulu Blues _. Check us out on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all that good stuff. Give us a like, review. Anything's good, negative or positive. We don't mind it. We just love the feedback. But if you want to check us out individually, you can check out Nick at Nick Faber NFL. You can check out Julius at the Fifth Top, and you can always look at myself at Everyday FFB.
Go Lions.
So, boys, as always, go Lions.
Man, look at that draft right there.
Beautiful.
That's a good